Okay, you can let everyone in now, Deb. Hello, everyone. Welcome on this. I don't know if you're in Sydney, but here in Sydney, where I am, it's raining. So what better time than to upgrade our inspiration volume up for Thermomix cooking. So my name is Tina. I'm very happy to be here and be the host for this event, but the real host I'm also a team leader in the North Shore, and a branch visit is our name. But thank you for joining us today. But now I'll hand you over to Deb, who will continue the show today. Over to you, Deb.
Hi, everyone. Welcome today to our humble little class where we've got a very ambitious menu for you to show you what your Thermomix can do. And if you are someone who is not a Thermomix owner, but just curious about what the Thermomix can do, especially with Asian food, then this is a class for you. I always learn a lot from these classes, not just tips and tricks, but just to be inspired to try new recipes. So I hope today you will feel as inspired as I'm hoping to be. And if you have any questions, you can pop it in the chat. That's how we're going to tackle your questions today, and we will try to answer them as we go. If we can't answer your questions, then we will endeavour to get back to you. And if you are not connected with a consultant, we're very happy to reach out and answer any of your questions. So the format of today will be presenting quite a number of recipes, and we've got about 4 or 5 different consultants that will be showing you the step-by-step recipes we'll be presenting. And what we're hoping to show you are the different modes that the TM6 offers that are quite different from the previous models. So the TM6 has a few more advanced modes that will help your cooking experience in the kitchen go smoother and quicker. So on that note, what I'll do is I will pass it on to Anne, and I'm going to spotlight Anne. Now, Anne and I became consultants around the same time, and I've learned a lot from her, and she's going to be making tom kha khai. So over to you, Anne.
Hi everyone, it's Anne here, and I'm gonna cook the tom kha khai. But the beautiful thing is that not only the tom kha khai, with that dish in like 40 minutes, we're gonna have like 3 courses in 40 minutes, which is the Thai name hok mo, which is the seafood custard wrapped with banana leaf. Here I have already prepared. I'm gonna leave it in the aroma. And then we're gonna have some clam on top. And on the bowl, we're gonna prepare some custard for the fish. And then we're gonna use that bowl for the tom kha khai, which is making only like 10 seconds each. And then after that, I'm gonna move it over for you. So you're gonna have a look at it. The custard wrap, seafood custard wrap is called Thai homok, which is including fish fillet, shrimp, and squid. And now the beautiful of the Thermomix is that we can like making it at home without any effort at all. Why? If you do it like manually with your hand, and it's very hard, and you cannot get the consistent taste that's the most important for the hot milk. Let's do it now. We're gonna add the chili, including the fresh chili and the dry chili, the shallot, garlic clove, fresh balagan, and the lemongrass. shrimp paste and fish sauce, the candle nut, which is very important, bring some nutty flavor, and then the coconut milk. Now I'm gonna close the lid. Just mix it up a bit. Oh, sorry for that. And now I just need to add the egg. We're gonna have the beautiful paste, as you can see here, which we cannot reach with the blender, the normal blender, but we can easily get it with the Thermomix coffee lamb leaf. And then ground turmeric, the white rice flour, tapioca starch, and some fish sauce already added in, and sugar. Now I'm gonna scrub it around with the bowl and then mix it again to make the paste. Yeah.
You know that this is one of my
Just 10 seconds more and then it's done.
a little disclaimer. I chose this dish because this is one of my family's favorite dishes. The custard that she's making is always something that my family members would just line up for my mom to make.
Yeah, and this type of the seafood custard in banana leaf is actually have many versions from the many other Southeast Asia country like Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand. And now I'm going to pour it inside the dish. And then I'm going to put it on top with the clam here. So we have two dishes at the same time when you're using the varoma. And now let's come back to our tom gà khai. Here it is. I'm gonna need the water.
Now, Anne has a second bowl, and that's very handy.
It is.
So if you ever get a chance to get a second bowl, it's well worth it. Of course, you don't need one.
Elegant.
It's very nice to have.
Lemongrass. We're gonna cook it. We're gonna prepare the tom gà khai sauce soup first, and then now I'm gonna leave it with the. Let's start with the varoma. It's gonna cook in 18 minutes, and our fish custard and the clam gonna be ready. And after that, I'm gonna come back with the next step with the tom gà khai. I'm done.
So we'll come back to Anne, and while we're cooking other recipes, by the time we're done, Anne will have this curry ready. So thanks, Anne. I'm going to now spotlight Kelly. Now, Kelly, you're not in Australia right now. Can you tell us where you are? Sorry?
I'm in Korea on holiday.
On holidays. And so this is the amazing flexibility of being a Thermomix consultant. You can still do your work all the way in Korea, and by choice as well. So thank you, Kelly. Kelly is going to showcase the savory vegetarian rice in cookie dough. So over to you, Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly Kim. I'm cooking savory vegetarian rice today. This is a very simple dish because all I have to do is boil step. This recipe uses the rice cucumber. So first, I'm gonna place Shallot, 30 grams. And garlic, 4 garlic. And 10 grams fresh ginger. 3 coriander root. And I'm gonna chop it 4 seconds for speed 6. So I show you this.
Wow, that's amazing.
It smells amazing. And next one is 5 grams ghee, 50 grams ghee. And then saute for 4 minutes, 120 degrees.
Okay, great. Thanks, Kelly. And we will come back to you after that while it's cooking. But something to talk about is that ghee is a clarified butter that that you can actually make in the Thermomix. So even your basic ingredients such as ghee, there's actually a recipe in the Thermomix for that. And so you don't have to go out and go to Harris Farm and buy clarified butter. It's something that you can actually make yourself. If you've got a stick of butter in your fridge, you can make ghee. So don't get stuck on the fact that you might not have ghee. You can really improvise and do it yourself right there and then. All right.
My turn.
Is
it or is it back to?
It is Tina's turn. So now I'm going to add Tina on.
Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Tina and I'm making the sweet and sour prawns, and I'm also making the perfect boiled eggs. Okay, I'll skip to the sweet and sour prawns. So now the sweet and sour prawns is a favorite and everyone loves sweet and sour prawns. It's awesome because you also can add in your vegetables and it looks great on the plate and it serves up really well. And that's what you would, when you go to the restaurants, you'd pay top dollar for this sweet and sour prawns. But what if you could make it at home on a weeknight or a weekend and just enjoy it with your family as well? So sweet and sour prawns, it's I just press start cooking. And this part where I will have already my large prawns, and I have beautiful prawns from I can't remember anymore. It's local, but it's not been frozen, so it's fresh prawns. The whiskers have been removed. It's been cleaned and it has been deveined. I don't know if you can see that, but it's lovely. And then I put a pinch salt in there already, and then some white pepper powder, and then I mix it up. And that's to let it set for a while. And this is where I do a little bit of cooking. So 10 grams of cooking oil. I'm using a sunflower organic oil. 10 grams. And then I'm heating it up. And it's 3 minutes. So while that's just warming up, that's just getting the oil nice and hot before I put my prawns in. So when the prawns reach the bowl, it's meeting a very, very hot oil for it to start to do that nice curling up and that color and that flavor will start coming out. So now while I'm doing that, I am turning on my other Thermomix. And that's one of the perks of being a consultant. You can actually get yourself into a place where there's a lot of benefits, and having another extra Thermomix is one of the special things that you can get as a consultant. So if this is something that you're after, please let us know. And because being a consultant has all these perks and privileges. So I realized that I have, okay, it's on, but it's actually not put on the main. So I'm gonna swing back and go back to, I haven't switched it on. I realized I didn't put it in the mains. So I'm going to
you can answer a question, Tina, for me.
Yeah.
So Tina, if I had 600 grams of prawns, that I wanted to do instead of 300 grams. Could I adjust that recipe? What do you?
Yeah, so this cooking, again, another thing that is very important, these prawns are super large, they're huge. So I'm also going to be very mindful of the cook time, and I am going to see how well this one cooks as well. And one of the ways that you can tell that the prawns is really cooked is really honestly just opening one of them. But just be mindful if you are cooking school prawns, they're going to cook in less than nothing. So you may not need that much time. But if you're cooking giant sized prawns like these, you're also mindful. And if you want to double it up, just add more time. So add a minute or two, take a look, turn it around with your spatula and let it go again. Yes. Good question.
Yeah, because I think if I do 300 grams, I'm going to have to do it 3 times. So, you know, it'd be good to be able to do it all at once. And if we can make that adjustment in the recipe, that gives us the flexibility to double double the quantity, but adjust the time. So that's always a possibility.
Can I add something to that, Deb?
Yes,
yeah,
go ahead.
I mean, the other thing that you can do, because we want to get that high heat sizzling going on, is to actually just do 3 batches. So literally you just press that back button in the top left-hand corner, add some more oil in, another 10 grams, and literally just do that step 3 times. If you really want to get that, you know, the full caramelization and flavor through on those prawns, or as the girl said, just add on a little bit of extra time. What I would do, I would actually do the step 2 or 3 times. If I had, you know, a kilo of prawns, I would actually just use that back button, take
and
the first out, add a little bit more oil, and just keep doing that step to get the perfect result, because the recipes are designed to give you that perfect result.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. The time that it takes to do it is only 3 minutes, and so it really is nothing. Yeah, thanks, Janine.
Well, just as you were speaking, the Thermomix has already done its course, so in goes the prawns. And I'd be very mindful to make sure that the prawns are evenly distributed at the bottom of the bowl. And because all the prawns are all different size, I'd want to put the ones that are bigger at the bottom and the ones that are small on top. Just to be mindful of that. So I might just show you how it looks like with my other camera, just to give you an idea of how I place it. Okay, so that's pretty much how I'm placing it. Reserved prawns are in there. Sometimes if you wanted to add a splash of Shaoxing wine, that's going to make it really stand out as well. It does say make sure it's evenly distributed. And then it says to add the splash guard. And the splash guard is something, of course, I would have forgotten to bring. Give me a sec.
So the splash guard is something that we use on a high heat function or sugar stages in order to let the steam kind of escape a little bit, but also to protect you and your machine from any kind of oil splatters.
Okay, so in goes the splash guard, and then I press done, and it says 4 minutes, and I turn the selector on. I think 4 minutes is going to be quite enough, but I'm going to just have a disclaimer and just take a look at it and see. So I will also, now that I actually went under, I fitted my second Thermomix into the main, and I finally got it back on. So I've got my second Thermomix on, and we're doing something so simple. Would you believe that a lot of us every day, we do have breakfast with eggs, and we want that perfectly cooked egg. And I watched one of the Thermomix consultant battle with her husband, who loves the old-fashioned mode of cooking. And he was cooking it over the stove. She was using her Thermomix. She got a very clean, very precise result. He had stuff bubbling over, and he kind of left it on the stove for too long and the fire went out. Anyway, it was hilarious. So perfectly boiled eggs. It's the recipe calls for 2 to 6 eggs. I'm just putting 2. into the bowl, and I'm going to just swing this. And you see, okay. So with the TM6, it actually has a special mode called, oh, it's Janine's got ahead of me. So it just says soft, medium, medium hard, because I'm actually making an egg for a dress salad. So I'm just going to keep it to medium hard. I'm putting 1 liter of water. So 1 liter, if you want to eyeball it, it's very easy. Just make sure you hit this mark. That's 1 liter. And then, oh my goodness, the prawns are beginning. You know that nutty smell of fried prawns? That's what my house smells of now. So I'm putting it on, I'm just putting it on medium. Okay.
Tina, there's a question there. Were the prawns peeled?
No. Okay, so the prawns were, I took my Thermomix scissors and I lobbed the top off because it had a crown and that was really sharp. So I lob off the top, and then I cut the shell right in the center because I'm going to remove the veins. And I took the scissors and I cut the legs off, and at the tail, I just snipped off. I made it kind of squared off. What that does is that it also cuts that sharp bit of that middle center tail bit that gets really sharp. And it also releases the vein quite well, because once you cut that the tail, when you're deveining, it actually pops the vein of the center portion of that prawn that you want, the poop shoot, what we call it, the poop shoot, actually comes off a lot easier. So that's what I did. So it's a very snip, snip, and snip. That's it. So you just have to have a very good good pair of scissors, and that you will do the job really well. So yeah, pretty good question.
Yeah, so that allows for you to still have retain the flavor of the shell, but it actually opens up the prawn to aid in the cooking. So that's
really, yeah. So I'm going to, what's going to happen here in 34 seconds. In 34 seconds, it's going to be done, but I'm going to check it because again, these are really, really large prawns. So I have to watch it. But the cook actually goes, the cooking step actually allows the prawns to be reintroduced when it's at the part where it stir fries the vegetables. So it gets another time where it's actually cooked again. So I'm also mindful of the fact I don't want overcooked prawns, but I also don't want undercooked prawns. So that's where you still need to have a little bit of prawn acumen to save.
On that note, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to Anne because I think she's done, and we'll switch back to you a bit later, Tina. Yep. All right, over to you, Anne.
Actually, mine need to like 4 more minutes more to cook. But during that time, I'm going to talking a bit about the custard, because what we need, the most important thing for this ingredient is it must get the paste texture, and then the most important thing is that bacon, the white bacon leaf. That's bring the flavor for the custard, for the seafood custard. I'm gonna check it now to see that if it's work or not. Now you cannot believe how good smell it is now. Oh yeah, my corn is cooked already. There it is. You can have a look at it.
That looks amazing.
And yeah, the fish custard, I think it needs a little bit more. Let me take it out for you to have a look. But it doesn't matter. I can stop it now. I can stop it now and then continue cooking the fish, the wrapped banana with the rest of the recipe, which is I'm gonna add in the chicken thigh fillet, the fish sauce. Sorry, you're not gonna see my screen. Sugar, coconut milk, fresh oyster mushroom, and some tomato, which is cut in quarter already.
This really is a 3-in-1 meal, isn't it, Anne? Like,
it's 3-in-1, and it's only take about like 40 minutes. Lemon juice,
Yeah. So this could be a
Then,
meal.
yeah, we're gonna cook the tom gà khai, but we also gonna cook our seafood custard here on top to get it on cook, and that's it. I'm gonna be back in 10 minutes.
All right.
Thank you.
We'll
No,
go
we'll
back.
maybe hand it to Kelly.
Yes. So I'm gonna go back to Kelly because I think her rice would be done. So what I need to do is find Kelly. Where is Kelly? There, I got her.
I see that there's 7 minutes to go.
Oh, you still got a few more minutes to go? That's fine.
Yeah. So I put the tomato and carrot, stocky mushroom, and it's cooking now.
All right.
For 10 minutes.
Thank you. I'll go back to you later. All right. Now, Sharon, there's no avoiding your turn. So, okay, Sharon is going to be taking us through the sous vide mode, and this is something that's kind of new to the TM5, but especially the TM6. It's got its own mode. It's got its own button in the applications, and it's something that Sharon's been experimenting on for several recipes. So over to you, Sharon.
Hi everyone. So today we're doing a sous vide drunken chicken. Drunken chicken is actually a cold dish. So basically you should prepare it a day in advance and leave it into the fridge before you serve it the next day. And it's served at the beginning like an entree, or during also for dim sum. Sometimes we have this dish depending where you're from. Okay. So what I have here is the chicken. The recipe calls for 300 grams, but I just got one breast, and my chicken breast, I should say, is slightly more than, it's about 450 grams. So all I do is I'm going to marinate or flavor the chicken with some salt. It's very damp and humid today. My salt is stuck to the bowl. And all I do is just give it a nice massage. Yes. We care for our food, so we give it nice massages.
Sharon, I don't think I give my chicken nice breast nice massage.
It will turn out much more tender.
You reckon? All right.
I'm kidding.
We just want it in our mouths, really.
Yeah, by massaging it, we're actually massaging the flavor in, that salt. So you do the salt first, and then now I'm going to just put that Shaoxing Wine in. Now, Shaoxing Wine is actually from a region called, actually a very famous region called Shaoxing, that is very famous for wine. It's wine production. And we basically use Shaoxing in everything. But today I actually have one that's called Hua Tiu, which is the Cantonese tend to use it, and it actually has a more aromatic smell to it. And while that's happening, I forgot to tell you, I have to show you how to put in the blade cover. Now, I've got the new blade cover, but if you don't, the black one is actually better for what I'm doing, because I've got Ziploc bags. So here is my bowl. All I do is put in top side. You can see one side is like this, one is this way. Pop in the blade cover, and that's all it is.
Not just a blade cover, is it, Sharon?
Sorry?
It's also a blade cover, is it?
No, it's also a potato peeler. So I'm just going to put in some water, and I'm going to heat it 1 liter of water, and I'm going to go to the next step, and I'll see you back in 15 minutes while that is also marinating, and I'll show you how to do the Ziploc bag next.
All right, thanks, Sharon. Okay, I'm going to spotlight
Janine, yeah.
And I know this is a recipe that many of you are waiting for. It's highly anticipated. can we do beef rendang in the Thermomix? And Janine says yes. I've seen it. It looks legit. As an Indonesian person, it's got my tick of approval in terms of the appearance. So over to you, Janine.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm delighted to be here cooking, you know, the Aussie coming in and doing kind of a traditional dish. We absolutely love curries in this house. This beef rendang is not one of those things that you whip out at 5:30 on a Wednesday evening or a, you know, quick midweek meal. It does take, you know, quite a few hours. We've got the slow cooking element on it. But if you're looking for a really, you know, authenticity in those flavors and, you know, tradition of cooking, then this one is absolutely for you. So a couple of things. What you could do is you could make the paste, you know, the afternoon before or the day before, and then cook it. So I've actually pre-made this dish, but I'll run through the recipe with you, and then I'll quickly show you what the end result is, and then I'll come back with a little meal presentation at the end. So if I press start cooking in here, so the first thing is weighing 100 grams of desiccated coconut. I only had organic shaved coconut, so I give it a little whiz in the Thermomix to make it a little bit finer. And then I toasted that up in a frying pan till it was nice and golden brown. And then you just pop that aside. And the next step is for weighing and soaking dried chilies. I actually just use 2 fresh chilies for this recipe because I know that's a heat that my family will be able to tolerate, and this is going to be our dinner tonight. So, so I just did 2 fresh chilies, so we'll add those in a little bit later. So the first thing we had to do was add in, you know, cumin seeds and coriander seeds, cinnamon quills. So I literally just kind of broke mine in half. 4 star anise. I mean, goodness me, they're just the prettiest little things you've ever seen in your life. Love those. Whole cloves, we've all seen those before. Now, I did not have cumin seeds, so I had already milled cumin. So what I did was I left that out for this stage. So it just says, so I'm going to pop that in there, and that will dry roast those spices for 3 minutes it was. And then we press next, allow to, you know, cool slightly. And this was the stage where I put my cumin powder in. So just making do with the ingredients that I had, but, you know, staying true to the recipe. And then we mill those up for 30 seconds on speed 10. So this is where I add in my fresh chilies because I didn't do the dried ones, and 30 grams of fresh garlic, red onion cut into the wedges, beautiful fresh ginger, lemongrass. Absolutely love all these ingredients. Galangal, in it goes. And then we pop the measuring cup in and we blended that for 30 seconds. Now, I did have a bit of trouble at this stage, and I'm not quite sure why, but it just, it was on such a high speed that it just kind of kept throwing everything out to the outer edges. So what I did was gave it that first burst. Then when I can hear it free spinning, I just press stop, scrape around the sides, and I just did mine on speed 5. And I stopped and started it about 3 times to try and get as smooth a paste as I could. It wasn't totally perfect, but I don't know, something to do with the amount of ingredients I had in the bowl. But 80 grams of vegetable oil, then we pop that in. 30 seconds on speed 7 to give that a little bit of a mix, scrape down the sides, insert the measuring cup, and then we cooked that for 20 minutes. So this is the part that you could kind of do all this maybe step the day before and have that ready to go. And then, you know, maybe you could do this stage, or you could even include this stage. So I actually did 80 grams of dark brown sugar, And again, this is something that I've not done before, cooking for 10 minutes on 120 degrees on speed 4. But it absolutely worked fine, and did the job that it needed to do. So I just followed along. And this is the beauty about not being a fantastic Asian cook, but being able to make something like this recipe. Scrape down the mixing bowl. Then I added in the 200 grams of coconut milk. Pop that in there. We did a little cook. I mixed for 10 seconds. Then I added 800 grams of beef chuck steak. Little bit of a word about this. If you wanted to use chuck steak, make sure you cut them, like almost the size of an egg. They need to be quite big chunks, because what I found was I cut mine into, probably about pieces about that big. And I bought it from a butcher. It was really beautiful quality. It didn't have heaps of fat. And I found it cooked in a lesser time. Tina has used the beef cheeks, and she cooked hers for the full amount of time, and her beef cheeks stayed in really big chunks. So maybe the beef cheeks are a cut that kind of take a little bit longer to cook. The other thing that you could do is use a blade cover. So either one, whichever one you've got for this recipe, because it is, I think it's like a 5-hour cook. And I think if you had a blade cover on and you use the chuck steak, you could actually probably do the full 5 hours of cooking. So,
Janine, so could I ask you a question? If you do decide to do use a blade cover,
yeah.
Like you scrape everything out into a bowl and then put the blade cover in, or you put the blade cover in over the sauce?
Yeah, I'd put the blade cover in over the sauce, and then pop the meat on top of that, and then add these other bits and pieces in there. I think you'd find, or you could pop, I mean, I'm not sure, Tina, what would you suggest? I think it would still mix through. I'd still think that you would get a really good cook with it, but you could do what you're saying, Deb. You could kind of mix it all in together, because it adds the water, the coconut, and then it's just to stir and combine all those ingredients. You could quickly tip it out into a bowl, pop your blade cover in, and then tip all the ingredients back in there again.
Yeah, my tip would be is that if you do decide to do the blade cover, because I've done it for the 5 spice beef cheeks, but it doesn't say in the recipe put a blade cover in. You just need to make sure that there's sufficient liquid to cover the meat, and to aid in the slow cooking, because like sometimes then you create a layer between the liquid and the meat.
It might be dry.
Yeah, and so you don't actually get that slow cooking effect that you want. So just be conscious of, only because I've experienced it. I thought this recipe is wrong. I need to pop in a blade cover. But if the meat is chunky enough, I think you might be able to get away with it. And yeah.
So yeah, maybe that's why the recipe doesn't have the blade cover then, because maybe there isn't quite enough liquid for that. So what I did was, so I combined with the spatula, insert the measuring cup. So cooking for 5 hours and 30 minutes. I cooked mine for 3 hours, and I did kind of kept coming in and having a little taste because it smelled amazing. I couldn't resist it. But I got to the 3 hour point and my meat was cooked to perfection, and it all happened. So I just stopped it. So I'll show you that now. So this is the result that you get with that recipe. So you can see I still have chunks of meat there. But it's also, and the recipe does look like it's a little bit like it's a bit of a pulled beef recipe. But apparently this oil, guys, this is where I nailed it. Oh gosh, there's a fly flying around here. So yeah, having all that beautiful oil in there is apparently the way to go. And then what you would do if you were going to serve it like that, then you could just, drizzle some beautiful coconut cream over the top. And I've got some beautiful shallots. To be honest, I'm going to be adding some coriander on there as well. I don't know if that's sacrilege or not, but we love coriander in this house. So Amazing recipe. I'll do a little portion serve up and just show you what that looks like at the end. But I'm so excited to be able to do this kind of cooking with the Thermomix. If I didn't have one, then I probably, wouldn't be doing these kind of dishes because they're kind of a bit complicated for me. But yeah, and delighted to be on here with all these girls. I love, the community spirit of being a consultant with Thermomix, everyone sharing ideas and inspiration. And I hope you all enjoy the class. And I'll catch you at the end. Thank you.
And I'm thrilled that beef rendang looks like that and that the oil has split. That's definitely got my seal of approval. And so I'm actually going to try that recipe, inspired by you. So that's the best thing about these classes and being a part of the community is that you get inspired to try new dishes. So thank you, Janine. We'll go back to you once you've plated. Now, I think we're going to go back to Kelly because I've heard she's ready.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm cooking savory vegetarian rice. So my soup is already, all my vegetable is ready to cook. And I'm gonna put the rice, 500 grams.
That's cooking a lot, 500 grams.
It is.
That's a full pot. That's a full family meal there.
I reckon that cooks for 8 in.
And then I'm gonna cook the rice cooker mode for 29 minutes. So I'll come back to you in 29 minutes.
All right. Now I'm going to go back to Anne because she's just staring at me from her camera, waiting patiently. So I know she's ready.
Yeah, it's cooked quickly than I thought. As I said, only 40 minutes, and now all the dish is ready. The plum has already taken out, as you saw before, and now it's the custard. I'm gonna have this. Just want to show you. Here it is.
Yum!
And last but not least, my main dish here. It's the tom ga khai, which is I'm gonna pouring it out a bit, like here for you to have a look. Look at the color.
Oh,
Look at the color and the texture of the soup of the tom. Is it? It's so good. I'm gonna come back with you, and you're gonna have that beautiful district processed meal in 40-50 minutes, and everything is ready for you. Just eating with the rice or whatever you like.
I can't believe you've just made that in the time that we've.
Yeah, and it's great that because of the Thermomix and the cookie dough, if you use it manually, you normally just cook one. But because of the Thermomix and the cookie dough, you're gonna get the access into the recipe, which is like cooking for you in a layer, which is really great.
Okay. Also, it means that someone else other than you can be cooking because someone's telling that person what to do. So there's incentive for the rest of your family to cook as well. All right, now I'm going to go back to me. And I'm going to remove spotlight. Okay. Now, just as
Can I interrupt? Can I just interrupt?
Sure.
Sorry, because I'm supposed to go to the next part. So because of time, we've done the prawns. So the prawns is made, and then I'm setting it aside to keep warm in my thermo server. So it's dripping, but yeah, anyway, it's in here, so it's really nice and warm. And then for the sake of time, what I did, I just chopped some ginger and some garlic and 10 grams of oil. And then I sauteed it. So we're at the final stage where the sauce goes in. So I just like to be able to let you see what's happening here, if you don't mind. Okay, so we are at, I've got the tomato sauce. I love the fact that the measuring cup stays on the lid. doesn't fall down anymore. So that's really good. So I'm going to put tomato sauce in here. So tomato sauce. So we're making a finishing sauce. And then in goes the chili sauce. And then the light soy. And the brown sugar is also in there. So this is all really quick. And the fact that it's all reading from the screen just gives me a sense of like, I know that I can just go pour, and it's gonna achieve the results. So now that's the vinegar. And so what I normally do, I'll just wash off my chili sauce. And then it says to cook. Put my lid back on. And for 3 minutes, 120. And I'm cooking that. So that's the sauce bit. And what will go into my stir fry sweet and sour prawns is I'm going to put a mix of beautiful pineapples and the two colors of peppers, so red and green. You can also add in zucchini if you like, asparagus, whatever makes the recipe pop. These would be suitable, really, really nice, especially the pineapples. So I doubled up on the pineapples, and that's going to go in with the sauce. And then I'm going to put in, the recipe asks me to put in the prawns in, give it a big saute, one big saute after the vegetables are done, and then I'm serving. So again, I didn't mention this, but the prawns, and I don't think you can see this except if I were to show you on the second camera, pulling back. So this here are my prawns. Can you see the sauce that's right in there? That's going to go back into my sweet and sour sauce. That's going to make it taste so amazing. And then you can also see that my prawns are beautifully done. They've curled, so they're nice and ready to go. But they're just on done. Okay, so it's not going to take too long to get my prawns cooking, because it's a 1 minute stir through. Again, the benefit of having Cookie Do tell you what to do is that you're just following the steps and you get an amazing result. So I think before the naan video shows, I also wanted to show you one of the special features of the TM6. And a lot of people have been waiting for this. And that's the created recipes. Now you can put your own recipes in there, in your Thermomix, to be able to be read on the screen, on the Thermomix screen. You want to take a look at that? So I'm going to change my camera right here. And so this is my screen of my second Thermomix. And I've put in a picture of the rojak sauce that I said I was going to make today. And I've programmed on my device, on my Cookie Do app, the recipe for the rojak sauce. Okay, all it takes is just me putting in some ingredients, setting up the preparation, and then to put the features like the chopping and the cooking time. So once you do that once, that's all. You'll always have that recipe in your Thermomix, so you can have it ready to play. So it looks a little bit different. And it says, it has your name in it, has your face in it, and the interface is slightly different. So you'll see that it gives you the steps because you've already pre-weighed that and you've already preset that. So all you need to do is just put all the recipe, put all the ingredients as required. As you can see, because I've programmed it, the weight scales comes on. So it asks for 50 grams of water. So 50 grams of water. I've put a little bit more. It's okay. And then when you want to have it back to 0, you just put it back to 0. And because I've pre-weighed all this, so I've got palm sugar and some chilies. So I'm making half a portion, and I'm putting the tamarind paste right in. Now it's a peanut sauce, but if you had nuts like these, roast them up. These are almond slivers. I'm using that instead. And you can too. So I'm going to use a So this is palm sugar, and the recipe calls for 3 chilies, or I'm actually putting, I'm putting 1 whole chili. Right now, the palm sugar is quite obstinate. It doesn't want to come out, so I'm helping it out. So that's it. And then you press that, and then it gives you, what's the next step? Oh, there you go. So the next step is take the lid, close it, and then you press this, and it's preset for you because you've programmed your recipe to do exactly that. So speed 6-8 seconds. Okay, so that's done. So once you finish with that, and it gives you tips as you have written it, as you have programmed it to, and it says enjoy your dish. But this is a beautiful, look at the color.
Oh, that looks great, Tina.
That is awesome, right? So you see, you can make your own recipes now with the TM6. And all I need to do is just take my preset hors d'oeuvres starter setup with some tomatoes, with those carrot sticks, with some cucumbers, and remember those beautiful eggs, my perfectly cooked eggs. Look at that, perfectly cooked. And then I've got some fried wonton skins that I'm going to dip with my rojak sauce. I'm going to set this aside here. And then it's just as simple as pouring out the sauce right here. And I've got my rojak sauce. So again, if you wanted it to be, oh, let me see. Can you see this from, oh, that's just me. Okay. Can you see that? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful?
Tina, what would you describe for those who don't know what rojak sauce is? How would you describe that? Is that something that we would have for dessert or during a meal, or how would you describe?
This would be could be a salad dipping sauce. So I'm using it as a salad dipping sauce. You could have the vegetables all constructed like a way that you have a salad and pour it on and give it a toss. Okay, you could use it in so many ways. And then after that, you could take these fried wontons and put all crispy noodles, rice noodles or crispy noodles, and just break it up on top. And then just before you serve, you pour that peanut sauce, this rojak sauce on top, give it a toss. It's amazing. It's like next level. This is what we call Asian salads. Okay, and then you have the same, you have all the usual suspects of the salad family. You could add salads that you like to eat. You could even add things like avocado, but whatever it is, you can just pop anything that you want. But this salad sauce is just amazing. Look at that thickness. It's beautiful. And that just took 8 seconds. But the best part is that it's a recipe that now you can create and you can have it programmed into your Thermomix. So that's really amazing. So okay, since I'm already here and I'm taking already a full part of that. I know that everyone wants to show what their dishes are. I'm at a part where the let me see. My camera is trying to spin. Let me try and get this correct. Okay. I'm now having to put my pineapples in. So I've got 150 grams of pineapple going in. And then I'm going to put the capsicums, red and green. Again, because the fruits are so fresh, you can just eat them almost like a nice crispy salad as well. So that goes in, red capsicum, and then you put the main star of the show, which is the prawns. And the prawns just go back in. Before you can taking up somebody else's spot. Okay, the prawns are all in. And I'm going to put the delicious sauce back in as well. And it says, I'm going to cook it for 3 minutes at 120 and it's done. So all you'll see at the end of it is me dressing it up. So over to you, Deb, or whoever else is taking over. Thank you.
So what I'll be asking everyone to do is for the other consultants to start plating up.
I haven't finished.
Oh, Janine's got her hand up.
Yeah, I'm ready. I can do it.
Oh wait, I've got one more thing to do. So
All right, well, I'm ready whenever you are.
So as promised, what we want to do is show you a naan bread recipe, and because we were very ambitious with our menu, we knew we'd run out of time to show you, but Tina's done a very quick 30-second video of how to make the naan bread. So we did want to show you, and let me just. Okay. All right. Hope you can see that.
Choppy.
Okay. I did want to show you because Tina made an effort to make that, and what I'll do is I'll send that through to you in the chat. Let me just have a look, and I'm hoping that everyone else will start to have their dishes ready. But before that, Tina, did you want to talk about the poll that we wanted to, some questions that we wanted to have a look, ask the group today?
Okay, well, we're going to we'd like to take a poll because we'd love to have your word in this whole time. We appreciate your time spent with us in this hour of learning and exploring the flavors of Asia. So Deb is going to put up these polls, and if you could spend a minute just to answer the polls, that would be truly appreciated. Again, we want to improve your love for the Thermomix and the use of your Thermomix. So yes, polls out, and let's just have. Thank you for responding, by the way. And if you would like to know much more about being a consultant, as I mentioned, there are a lot of perks that you can benefit from by being a consultant. Firstly, you learn how to use your Thermomix much more. And secondly, you get to be in a community of all these lovely ladies that you see before you. All of us are all learning to be better cooks, but you know what? Sometimes Thermomix saves the day, right? For a lot of us, dinner gets done and we get fed. So thank you so much. I believe, yeah, everyone has replied. Yes, thank you so much. So I won't share the results, but I will now share what we cooked. Okay, so over to Janine. Are you ready or?
Yeah, sure.
I will spotlight you.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, I'm in. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing spotlighted on my screen for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Lovely. Just served up my. So these will be, you know, dinner for tonight, and then I've just got a little bit of coconut cream to just add on the top for that extra, you know, to make it look quite pretty. But yeah, beautiful jasmine rice being kept piping hot in my thermo server right here. So these are a host reward. So make sure you get onto your consultant, and you definitely need one of those if you've got a new Thermomix in the house. Yeah, the lovely cucumber just to add a little bit of freshness in with that, you know, very robust and rich curry. So absolutely love my dish, and I'm so pleased that I, you know, stepped out and decided to make something that I haven't made before. So it's a winner.
Yay. Over to
Anne.
Anne. Anne's definitely ready.
Okay, now you can see that's the clam, which is the flavor of the Thai, very typical Thai. And this custard, fish custard, can you see that creamy? And there's the color is beautiful. And now the tom ga khai. It has the robust taste of the seafood, and then some sweet from the milk coconut. It's gonna taste yummy. Here's the 50 minutes. 3 courses dish. You can serve
How much
with
would you
rice.
pay for that dish, for those dishes at the restaurant, at
Let
the
me count.
Thai restaurant?
The clam is around $60 per kilo. I just bought like 100 grams. And then the fish, prawn and squid around 20. And then chicken is only $4 or $5. That's all. And then some the herb and spices maybe cost you around 2 or 3. So totally is around, I think, might be 30, 35 totally.
And
for
how
the
much?
whole family to enjoy.
That's amazing.
It's amazing, and it's waste no time for you at all. You just have to put everything in, just let the Thermomix cook it for you. It's all done.
Thank you, Anne. Okay, now I think we need to go back to Sharon, because she has a few things she needs to show us before we finish up.
Yes. So my chicken has been marinating for a while now, and I split the chicken in 2 because I want even cooking. So in it goes into the bag. So I'm just using a Ziploc bag. Now, if you've got the plastic blade cover, go ahead. You can use this bag for this. I don't recommend it for using it with the new blade cover and peeler. So what you do is the Ziploc bag, close it and seal it half. And now we're going to dunk it into the water. And then we squeeze out all that air. And the pressure of the water on either side of the bag pushes out will push out the air. And then I just do it as slow as possible and then seal the rest. As you can see, that's the only kind of vacuum we need. Okay.
That looks great, Sharon. And
Yeah.
I just have to put a disclaimer that there's no sponsorship deals with IKEA. She's just using a Ziploc bag that she has at home.
Food grade Ziploc bag.
That's right. So you can use the appropriate Ziploc bags that you have at home.
Now, you can see I put the bag into my simmering basket. So you have a choice of how you want to do your sous vide. So you can either use the blade cover, where you can do up to 4 pieces of meat, or you can use it in the simmering basket, which is what I'm going to do today. Okay, 2 pieces in. And then what I've done is I've actually heated the temperature of the water to 65, which is what we needed for it. And all you do is just pop it in here. And then I've got my blade cover still in there. And that water was cooking in 65 degrees with the lemon juice, 30 grams of lemon juice. Heat it up, put this, and then cook it, sous vide it. And I believe, are you going to show the vacuum bags?
Yep.
Yeah, Tina will show you the vacuum bags. I just didn't have Thermomix brands.
So this is the vacuum bags that they sell on the mix shop. I think they're really good because they're really strong and they're definitely food grade. And what I noticed is that it doesn't split at the corners. So some bags, they say they're food grade, but then they're splitting on the sides and the water tends to get in. So of course, there's another element where you can buy a vacuum sealer from the mix shop as well. But honestly, if you get these guys, you don't need it. You just have to do exactly what Sharon said. And then you can also make it watertight as well by just following the steps that she mentioned. So
that though, the vacuum sealer is at such a good price point.
it is a very good price point.
Yeah,
so
I think it's around $50 or something. It's really not much to spend on something that will that you'll be able to use for many years. So like definitely go through it. So now Sharon, through the magic of time and space, has actually recreated the chicken breasts already. So let me just pin you.
And I'll also pin myself because we are running out of time, but
Yep.
I'll just pin myself as well. So you can see my dishes as well.
Great. All right. Sharon, why is this called Drunken Chicken?
Because we fed it with alcohol to make it drunk.
You get really drunk after eating it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's that's really awesome. I love it. It looks exactly like what the cookie dough presented. So yeah. Okay, so I'm ready for that. And why would you want to make sous vide breast meat? Because it's so tender, it's succulent, and it's moist, and it's cooked in its own flavor. So there's no addition of water, no addition of oil, but you get the infusion of whatever you've marinated it with. As what Sharon did, she massaged it. So surely it's going to taste really good. So that's my dish. As you can see, again, another trifecta of dishes. The naan bread again was done in the morning and made by my 10-year-old. And I've got this that doesn't even need any garnish at all. Look at that. Look at all the sauce at the bottom. It's beautiful, beautiful fresh prawns and local prawns. And then we have the wonderful rojak sauce, which is really yummy and great. So those are the things that you can try. A different element of salad serving, you can make a rojak sauce instead with these very basic recipes. Five things all up, I think. Tamarind, palm sugar, peanuts, and what else did I say? And tamarind. Did I say tamarind? And sugar. The palm sugar, that's it. And chili. So yeah. And I think we do have one more, the rice, and I know it's taking up a little bit of your time already, but because Kelly is in Korea, maybe Kelly, she cannot find basmati rice in Korea, so she has opted to cook the next best thing. So she used red rice or brown rice. So maybe you can explain that it didn't kind of come out as per, which is a great learning curve for us, because once you change anything in the recipe, things can change as well. So it does need a little bit of tinkering. And that's the difference when you actually do change any ingredient in your cook for a particular recipe on cookie dough. So Kelly, over to you.
So I couldn't find the basmati rice in Korea. So I used the soaked brown rice. So 500-gram brown rice soaked for a few hours. And then it become a 600, and I still use the 700 grams for water. And then it can't, so just finish it, but it's still a little bit watery.
So if you wanted to resurrect this or correct this, or what we can recommend you to do is to actually keep on cooking it at the rice cooker mode. Just take it maybe 3 to 5 minutes at a go. And just see the outcome every 3 or 5 minutes.
Next time I might reduce the water for maybe to 600.
Is the rice cooked through though?
Yes, but
Okay,
it's
so
really watery.
yeah, it's just really watery. So again, the absorption rate of the basmati is a lot higher than the rice that she's using. So those are little learning curves that we come across as we play with do recipes.
Just put that in a bowl, Kelly, with the cover. The rice will just absorb all that juices or that
Yeah, you
stuff.
might do a risotto. Yeah.
Okay.
Or use a thermo server if you have it. And that's a good way to let the rice absorb as well. Okay, on that note, I know it's time. So I just wanted to thank you so much for your time on this rainy Saturday, taking the time to learn some recipes with us. I know I'm inspired to do a few of these recipes myself, and I want to thank each and every one of you for coming, but also for our consultants for taking the time to prepare and to take us through these recipes. Now, these recipes will be sent by an email after this class, but if you wanted to stick around and have any questions, specific questions on the recipes or Asian food in general as it's cooked in the Thermomix, we'll stick around for a little bit to answer some of your questions. If you are not connected with a consultant, we would love to be able to help you answer any questions and support you through your Thermomix journey. If you are not a Thermomix customer, we would love you to be one. So please be connected. Please connect with any one of us consultants you've seen on this class, and we would be happy to help you. The Thermomix journey doesn't end with your purchase. It continues on after your purchase and after your delivery briefing. What other machine gives you aftercare support like this that allows you to learn more about how to use your Thermomix, your machine, to its fullest capacity? And so this is one of the things that we enjoyed as consultants, helping you through this. And there will be more classes to come during the week, and also next week there'll be a Mexican food class, and we hope that you'll be inspired to come to that as well. And hopefully it's a rainy day so that you'll have nothing better to do than to join us. On that note, have a good afternoon, and we're going to stick around for a little bit if you have any questions.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you had fun.
Bye.